Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. This is Asim. I'm back with another video in Hacker2Hacker series. And here with me, I have a very talented person. He's an 18-year-old bug bounty hunter from Tamil Nadu, Ranganathan. And he has been doing bug hunting for 2 years. He has been acknowledged by Apple, LinkedIn, Medium, and many other programs and big corporations to name into his bag. He likes to build R protocols, which is a cybersecurity startup. He's quite famous for a hack in 2021, an IRCTC hack. He was, I think, 16 or 17 years back then, and he was facilitated by the IT Minister of Tamil Nadu back then. It's a big thing. He was still in school, and while we were talking before this interview, he mentioned that he was writing his final year exams, and a famous newspaper in his region, they came to just interview him, and the principal had to call him, hey, can you come for a while? And he had to ask them to wait for a while. That's quite an interesting story, and all the talk was quite fun, and it was really nice to meet him. I just read his blog. I'll add the link for the blog. It was again Idor, and that is something he's going to talk about today as well. I mean, how to deal with different kind of Idors and all. I don't know what all is there, but definitely we'll get to learn a lot straight from the horse's mouth. I'll add the link for his Medium and any other links that he mentioned in the description. So if you are yet to check it out, you can check it out, the links for that. Also, if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, I request you. It takes a lot of time to bring people, coordinate everything, and then produce this whole video. So it would be really awesome if you can share these videos and subscribe to it. I'd be really grateful to you. Over to you, Ranganathan. Can you just introduce yourself to the audience, and then we can take the questions?
Hi, bro. Thanks for the invite. So my name is Ranganathan. I'm from Tamil Nadu. I'm a bug bounty hunter. I've been doing it for the kind of past 1.5 2 years, and I'm doing my first year BCA cybersecurity in Chennai. So yeah, I love contributing to the community. Yeah, I do run a cybersecurity startup. That's kind of that's one of the tough phase. Getting the clients and talking to them. Yeah, these are the things that I currently do now.
He's kind of a shy person. He doesn't talk a lot, but yeah, he has a lot of knowledge.
Not really.
Yeah. So, how the first question that I usually ask is, how did you get started into cybersecurity, and what's your journey like?
So actually, back in somewhere 2016, I guess, like actually, since my childhood, I had the interest on tech because my mom is a computer science professor. So I grew up with computers. So since my childhood, like when I was 7 or 8, something like that, I think that is the one thing which made me here where I am. In 2016, I guess, like I had the interest for music. I wanted to become a rapper. Like actually, still now, probably in college culturals, I guess, I do rap or make some music when I get some good time. But somewhere again in 2020, I got the interest for cybersecurity. I saw an interview of an ethical hacker. His name is Sankaraj Subramanian. He's from Coimbatore. He has 16 years of experience. And, he does a lot of great stuff. I saw his interview, and like today is more like my mentor. One of a close person to me, and I have huge respect on him. So I talked to that sir, and he sent me through resources on what I have to learn. So I started with that in 2020 May. That time COVID-19 was on the peak. That's where it got started, and lockdowns were imposed, and all these things were happening in 2020. So I started learning the stuff, and I guess I got Google Doc. I did some Google Doc, and I found some sensitive files on a famous university in India. I reported to them, and I was paid a small bounty. I think that was the first thing which made me, it was more like within a few months, not even like 2 3 months. I guess that time, I got the interest for security. That was more like the starting point which I did, and then I started learning and doing the stuff. I came up with my startup, and then yeah, somewhere in probably in 2021, the early January, I got my name at United Nations Hall of Fame. That was one more thing which I got the these small motivations and all of fames and things which continuously kept me working more on that, on what I'm doing now. And yeah, I can't ignore about IRCTC. I probably in September, I guess, I was booking tickets in IRCTC, and suddenly I got an instinct that it will be having an IDOR for sure, because IDOR is one of the, it's a very common bug that will be present everywhere, right? I remember reading a write up of Avinash, I guess, Logic Bomb. You mentioned it now. He found similar IDOR in IRCTC. I remembered that reading up. So I did some I tested some few endpoints and I got a bug in a very short time, like 2-3 minutes. And then it was vulnerable for an IDOR which gave me access to all the ticket details, passengers and their travel details, and also the vulnerable API for canceling their tickets, changing boarding points, and something like that. I reported it to the certain. I thought like, okay, they want to be for sure this will be kept vulnerable for 2-3 years. So I thought that, but surprisingly, or maybe luckily, I'll say, they fixed it in 2-3 days, and I got an acknowledgement back after a week saying this has been fixed. Uh, and then I made a blog on that. Yeah, obviously, right. Someone from Toy came and asked me like, can I make a story on this? I was like, yeah, sure. That was my first one. And then on Times of India, and then Hacker News, Hindu, News 18, and more newspapers. And
Quite some media coverage, I say.
yeah, it was more like a lot of media coverage. I was giving back to back interviews, and actually I was doing my 12th standard school at that time, and then I kind of like obviously one kid which who was never noticed by many people, he got like suddenly like everyone was telling him saying, hey, how bro. I think this must be the one thing which you can flex in schools at those times. That kind of went really good. And someone from Tamil Nadu government contacted me on Twitter saying, asking me to share details of the POC. I said like, no, I don't know who you are. And then the person sent me a government email ID asking to send the details. I was shocked. I sent all the details, and then I spoke with a few IAS officers and people, and then they said the IT minister wants to meet me, and they wants to honor me for the act that I did responsibly for IRCT. And like, yeah, I'm sure I'll be very happy. And then I went there and was honored there by the minister. uh, that was kind of one more turning point.
That's
And yeah, I guess probably from at the time, like still working on everything. Yes, and then I started going up for a few universities. They were approaching me to give them like talks and sessions at the university, because the first thing they notice is the age factor. Someone from IBM or someone from Cognizant Wipro or director of InfoSec or VP or someone can give some sessions and talks, but the main factor is the age, because they were also 18. I was also 18, and in some most cases they were 20 who was in the final year about to finish the college, and I was just 17. And they were like, please come to the university. I was like, I'm from Tamil Nadu. Okay, we will arrange you all the travel, food, and accommodation.
that
I went there to Bangalore, two universities in Bangalore, and then these things were happening. And I have like two more talks in March. So yeah, it's going good. Actually, I love talking to students and guiding them, because I guess perfect path doesn't exist, right? I will just simply send a blog
mm,
asking them to read it, but I guess not most of them can just quickly grasp things, because each people differs, right? So these sessions and stuff, I love going up and speaking up at the stages. And yeah, like freelancing, client works, and these are also going good.
that's true.
So
That's true. I
yeah,
mean, as you mentioned, there's no perfect path. You just go on learning and something, and then you figure out your path. That's how it is. That's how it has always been. I see. And yeah.
correct, correct.
Nothing well defined. Yeah, I read your IRCTC blog, by the way. That was really cool. That is a
Thank you.
hotbed for hackers. I have seen a lot of people. Even I reported a few back. Yeah, that's really cool. So you mentioned that what was your motivation? What was the turning point? I'd uh, I'd like to understand from your perspective, if someone was to get into cybersecurity as a just a school student who's just in their school and they're
Mhm.
planning that I would eventually get into cybersecurity. What would your suggestions to that school kid be that okay, you can start looking up these things and such?
First, it will be understanding how the internet works, understanding about the computers, file systems, uh, all the hardware components and stuff, and then computer networking, and go for Linux. Just like let it be anything like Parrot or Kali or also like Ubuntu or if you start working on that, probably you'll even build your own distro. So that's completely cool. Linux, and then go for all the application security, OWASP 10. I see people selling courses, no harm to them. That's absolutely fine. It's good until they are doing something to the community and contributing something. So a few people I've seen, few people holding some grudges on people who are selling courses. But I feel that's completely fine. If you want to take some courses, that's completely okay. Because even I also took a few courses, and yeah, self learning or taking any someone's courses. Some well known instructors and someone who got public proof of work on their track records. That's completely fine. Take some courses or do some self-learning course together. Try Hack Me, CTF, and we have a. I think Twitter is something which is really important.
Yes, true.
Twitter is not just a social media. I feel Twitter is one of the most valuable platform. It's more like an alternative for Udemy, but this is an unpopular opinion. Twitter is like 480p Udemy. You don't need to pay anything, but your data will be paid. That's completely fine. But yeah, Twitter is it's a great platform to learn stuff. Not many people, many people are not aware about this. I can join Twitter, connect with a few people who are doing great stuff to the community, and then learn from their tweets. Keep searching, Twitter search bar. It's a great stuff. Thanks to the product manager who built that. But there are a lot of things you can really make well use of from Twitter search bar. Just keep searching,
It's true.
and yeah, programming languages and yeah, obviously programming languages and yeah, even I think when it comes to a job perspective, even someone who is focusing on application security should also focus on infrastructure security or cloud security or on some basic DevOps knowledge. Because I think this cannot be ignored. Probably cloud, AWS or Azure or GCP, something like that. I guess these are the stuff.
I mean, I'm amazed. You're just 18 years, and a lot of people they don't understand the value of Twitter and like AWS cloud infrastructure security. Even my colleagues who were in college, like 21, 22 years, even they didn't realize the value and the worth of it. And you have cracked it quite early. That's really good. I mean, I
Thank
see
you.
you going way beyond. That's really good. I mean, that's really cool. And yeah, I also believe like
Yeah,
I have the similar opinion. Like a lot of people, they want a structured format. So it's fine if you're going for courses. I don't have any grudges around it because a lot of people they
yeah,
would want that. I want a particular structure to it. I want a structure to my life. I want a structure to courses. Otherwise, everything is available online. Why not like just read it up? But if you're able to pay for it and you are able to get value out of it, definitely go for it.
yeah.
That's really cool. That brings me to the next question: is where do you see us cybersecurity evolving in the next 10 years with the advent of chat GPT and everything, the whole landscape changing a
Mhm.
bit. We are already seeing blockchain security and then automation and everything coming into picture. But what do you think is one or two things that are very critical that is going to change a lot in cybersecurity in the next 10, 5 years, whatever time span you
Yeah.
would?
Yeah, to talk about Chat GPT, that's obviously not going to replace security and security engineers. Probably it can replace content writers. I feel sorry for them, but but security it definitely it won't be replaced by AI, because even AI is obviously built by human, and that will still have some vulnerability. So security won't be replaced by AI. I feel security, the importance for security, it's started booming. Like, I remember my relative saying ethical hacking who considered once illegal, but no, at least they have a knowledge on what are the good and bad stuff. So regardless of the age factors, or regardless of what domain people are from, thanks to the media who portrays, like, it's something called ethical hacking, because they get the knowledge. Okay, so hacking contains good and bad. So the job opportunities will increase, and then the demand for that will increase. As far as people are building stuff, securing the built thing which is important. So it will have a great scope, obviously. And I remember people, like, who once considered software engineer and software developers as a great field. So I guess in probably in 5 years, I guess the cybersecurity, it will be considered as, oh my God, wow. So that's how SDLC work, right? You build a product, and obviously you have to secure it. So as far as you see products are being built today, the importance of security will also keep on growing.
That's true. That's true. I also see the same thing. Coming to the next question in the series, any hobbies, any things that you love to do apart from your work? I know you are like quite fascinated about hacking, but anything about like I know you do rapping and everything. So yeah, just about it.
Yeah, yeah, I do create some music. I'm a kind of a beat producer. Yeah, I do make some music sometimes. And I have I kind of love SaaS, product management, and something related to building products, or something more likely related to product management and SaaS, something like that. And apart from the whole IT stuff, completely going non-technical, I love reading books. Yeah, obviously not, uh, yeah, with niche specific things. Again, that is related to startups or security. Like, I'm reading a current book called Build, Don't Talk by Raj Shamani. Sure.
That's pretty much sums the interview part. Now, what will you be teaching us today?
Yeah, so we'll be talking about Idors for sure. And I'll share my screen.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So yeah, playing with Idors. Yeah, I don't want to brag it, but there I'm Ranganathan. So let's go to IDOR directly. So IDOR, like, that goes like insecure direct object reference. The name may sound complicated, obviously, yeah, but it's just improper authentication vulnerability. Let's assume the scenario. Okay, so we have a person here, and he wants to access his invoice, his bills, which goes like 24079, which is belonging to him. He sends a request to the server, and the server replies like, "Sure, I will give it back." And he again tries to access an invoice, but this time it is not his invoice; it's someone else details. It goes like 31245, which means probably he shouldn't have access, but still the server is giving him all the details which he shouldn't have the access to. So this is basically IDAR. Okay, when a particular, like, when there is an improper authentication vulnerability, that should give him a 401 unauthorized, or something like that. But still, with this ID, he's able to manipulate all the details. He's able to keep manipulating the particular invoice ID and access someone else's details. So this is a basic example of an IDOT, and this is how it goes basically. Because the best thing is why IDOR is good. Let's see with the bounty thing. It gives you easy bounty usually, and I'm not I'm not like talking about the money part, but believe me or not, it gives you the easy bounty. Uh, if you are the first reporter, obviously, and it's beginner friendly. There is nothing much to complicate. You need not write the technical scripts, or you need not write keep building new exploits, or write some code or program. This is completely beginner friendly. And if you see some ID, you just change it. Yeah, right. That's how it goes. But yeah, it's not that easy, obviously. Since and also there are several ways to bypass the protections. If you found if you found an endpoint which contains some ID in parameter or something like an email or anything where you can change the object to do some unauthorized actions, and if you have if there are some protections or mitigations towards that, you don't give up easily. It has a higher impact, and you keep working on that until you find it. So it's a good one thing. There are many ways to bypass the mitigation. And yeah, you don't need ton of tools. You just need burp suit and the browser. So bug hunters love Idor. So we
That's
have an
very true.
unauthenticated. Sorry.
I was saying that's very true. Bug hunters love Idors.
Yeah, right. Because the thing is, like, IDOR, it's still present in every websites. Yeah, it's very easy to find. You just need to apply some logic towards that. We have an unauthenticated and unauthorized IDOR. So let's see the difference between authentication and authorization, right? Let's say you have a page where you are able to get your build details. You have to log in your credentials, and you have to get your you will be able to access your documents, and you will be able to access the files. You're typing your email address, you're typing your password, or you're giving your username and you're giving your password. The server checks if the detail matches the database. If the server sees if your details are correct, and else it gives you the page. Let's say, and you will be able to access your own data and the files which you have access to. Let's say this time you are using the admin credentials and you're logging into the server. Now the server is authenticating, and also it's authorizing. See what kind of privilege and what kind of access the particular user has. Ranganathan has files. Ranganathan has access for his own files, not to anyone else's files. Again, when it comes to the admin, the authorization process goes. But this can be observed that the admin has details to everyone's access and files. He got access to all the data. So this one is an authorization. See what kind of privilege and what kind of what kind of again privilege the particular person is having, and see if he is authorized and if he got the permission to view those files. In some places, you will be finding some unauthenticated AP endpoints where you will be able to access all the data without even authentication, and maybe this can be even a PA leakage, something like that. So let's go for how to find it. Okay, so this one is pretty easy. You just my probably my methodology for bug bounty goes like, you don't say, let's say there is a particular SaaS company, or maybe let's take Stripe, okay, the payment gateway company, or Stripe or Razorpay or something like that. If you take them, like if you start working on that, I don't usually do all the subdomain enumeration. I don't do scanning when like nuclei, or I don't do anything at first. If there is a main product which has to be focused to something, say it's a functional product, it got all features like profile pictures, or it got like invitation for team members. You can write something, or you can change your bio. You will be able to do some actions and something like that. There are tons of features. Okay, I guess this methodology will really help you. Don't take any tools. Just open your browser. Try to understand the application. Use all the features. Use all the you know all the features and all the functions that is there in the particular product. Don't use any tools. Understand the core of the product. You apply your own logic, see what can be done and what cannot be done, and what should not be done, what you shouldn't have access to. I found my P4 bug on Canva probably like 1.5 years ago, because I'm using Canva since like 3 4 years, and I got a complete knowledge on Canva. I was doing something on a day, and Suddenly I found like this cannot be done. The impact was low. I guess that I submitted as P3 or something. That was tried as P4. The impact was low, but still, you find a bug, right? Because that's because I didn't use any tools or scannings. I was using the app for the 3 years, and one day I encountered a bug. That is the way you find a bug. So when it comes to products and stuff, you don't apply any tools or something like that. So understanding the core function logic of the product is really important. So collect all the endpoints. You can use Obsidian or you can use Notion. I use Notion. I prefer Notion probably. I think Notion is best, right? So you can probably use Notion or you can use any note making tools. So collect all the endpoints and just keep putting it to the repeater. Add the particular APIs and domains to the scope. Just collect all the traffic, see what can be done. And we also have the Burpsuit search feature. Just click on search and search for ID or search for endpoints. So you can do these things with the Burpsuit search. So collect all the details. So just enumerate this reconnaissance and the information gathering path is very important when it comes to IDOT. This can be easily found, but how you easily find it, you apply a ton of hard work on that, obviously.
That's true.
There might be a simple endpoint where you will be able to simple IDOR where you will be able to access tons of people data, but the particular endpoint may be hidden endpoint. It cannot be found on the easily. Maybe you need to fuzz or you need to check in some .js files. You will find it in JavaScript files, or you can even find it in GitHub or anything. So just keep searching. Yeah, we'll talk about that. So if you change some ID, you get something or you do something which you don't have access to. That is an IDOT basically. So it can be found on some editing parts where you can you're doing some actions like changing profile data, or you're inviting some team members, or you're doing some actions like even login endpoints. In login endpoints, you put your username and you put your password. So in the JSON array, probably you can add two usernames. One is your username followed by the victim username. Probably that will log in you to the endpoint. The user victim account. This is a very simple IDOR, but you just need to apply the logic for it. So that's how IDOR goes. So just be creative, break all the rules, break all the metrics and stuff. There is no rules when it comes to hunting and security, because one simple misconfiguration done by the developer can give you something deadly. So don't apply any rules or stuff. Just be creative, keep testing with the application. So you probably get maybe some details like PAI, that endpoint, or you change some password, maybe that endpoint, or you can even getting access to data or doing any actions. So these are the places where you can test for IDOR, and these are the few ways where you can bypass the IDOR protection. So as I said you earlier, so you find the ID endpoint where you can do something. So when you change it to victim ID, probably the server is going to say 401 unauthorized, because now you have been already authenticated. Now it is seeing whether you're authorized. Do you have the permission to check? If else, you get the 401 unauthorized. But maybe you can just use this. You use this string to append it, and probably that might going to give you 200 OK. Or maybe you have access to your own attacker ID.
Just a quick question. What's the logic behind that string percentage 20, percentage 09, all these? What's the logic? Why does it like gives that 200 OK?
You keep doing the appending, probably that might be a few misconfiguration. Actually, I have tried in most of the places, it doesn't work, but this worked in a very one place. Like I tested 20 applications, and in one application it worked. So this kind of this kind of a
Particular language misconfiguration, like why was that application written ASP.NET or C Sharp, or was it a Python application? Do you have any idea about it?
No, I don't have that, but I think it comes mostly likely because of a library function. some misconfiguration done in their library or something which is related to their programming, the backend thing, that can be one purpose.
Oh, I just wanted to
Or
because let's say these particular strings would only be useful, let's say, in a Java application. So if in any way I figure out
something like that.
Python application, then I would skip this part and I would save some time and spend that
Yeah,
on.
you can do that, but that's the one thing. Like I always ask you to check for .js files, something like this. So you have to keep checking JavaScript files, and whenever you check GitHub, see what kind of programming languages the particular application is using. You can see all their library functions, and accordingly you can build your IDOR exploit. So that can be done.
That's
And I think like when it comes to ID equal to parameter again, this doesn't mean only your numbers, which goes like 1, 2, 3, 4 or something like that. This can be even email address, or this can be username, or this can be any endpoint. This can be anything where the particular application is doing some authorization based on the particular object, like email ID or something like that, or even like registration number or any stuff. You can do obviously the HTTP parameter pollution. You can place two ID in a particular array. In the even like the JSON, you can place two usernames, and that might log in you to one of the victim account. Similarly, you can place attacker ID. You can place a victim ID followed by the attacker ID, and again this might give you access to the victim data. And you can place a .json if the authentication happens by authorization happens by JSON. If it is backend as JSON, you can do the JSON thing too. And yeah, you can play with different HTTP methods like get or post or something like that.
one more thing.
Maybe they'll.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
One more thing about this JSON part. I've seen people using .xml as well, where the like the backend
Yes,
also.
yeah, I
But
think I missed it. Yeah, you can use .xml. Yeah, you can also use .xml. Or even you can try .html. I don't know how it works, but maybe you can even
just
try
the parser.
HTML.
I
So
mean, in some cases, they have backend application that defines the parser based on the payload that's requested. If it's a .json, they would
yes, yes, yes.
one. Cool. Yep.
Yeah, you can try that. But maybe like deleting, probably it can delete the record from
Oh
the
yeah,
server.
that's
That can be crazy, but yeah, not just limiting to here. You can use the get request. You can use the get method with the HTTP parameter pollution, or you can use get method with .json. You can combine. You can keep uh, try with a different combination. So that will happen when you understand the core logic of the application. So this is the one thing. And we have seen IDOR, but not this. Sorry, like, we have seen the application with UUID, which is it's a kind of a random generated strings. It is morally impossible to predict it, but obviously there are a few ways where you can. You cannot brute force it obviously because that's 64 characters. You cannot brute force. That's going to be impossible. So instead of brute forcing, you can try a few ways where you can predict it because the particular UUID, it might be maybe say, let's say MD5. You can see the hashes, which you can see some encryptions which can be easily decrypted. That can be a base 64 or that can be MD5. You can try with crackstation.net. You can just put it and you'll be able to decrypt. This will be a usual number. It may or may not work. Obviously, there are. It depends on the application. You can try with API v1 user list. Maybe that can list all the details which is in the which will be written in their thing. So I think like you have to keep fuzzing. You need to understand what kind of API is written. So accordingly, you can try the different payloads, which will be giving you a success on IDOR. So this particular UUID, this can be found in .js files. So don't ignore JS files. That's really important. Not just you say if you visit a victim profile, let's say that goes like a social media profile, or it can be a public profile where you will be able to access victim's public profile. Maybe in the source code, the UUID will be leaked. So this is possible. Or you can put your victim's email and try to reset the password. Maybe in that endpoint, the UUID of victim will be leaked. There are a few ways like this to where you will be able to access the all the victims' UUID. So in JS files, just search for the endpoints which is related to applications like dashboard or registration or UUID. So just keep fuzzing. Like you can use a
Just adding to this
type of
one, even if you don't have a UUID, just create two accounts, and just to show the impact, try to insert the other UUID that you already have. That is something that
Yeah,
also is acceptable because there is a bug. It's just that it's hidden by obscurity because the UUID is hard to predict. That doesn't mean it doesn't have IDOR. It still has IDOR. It's just you don't have. If in future you find any endpoint that lists UUID, then this IDOR can be useful.
but
That is one way.
but I
Yeah, yeah.
yeah I submitted one
Uh-huh.
that was closed as P5.
Oh, that's fine. That's
Unfortunately,
fine.
they don't have.
That's very subjective
Yeah,
to
I think that
yeah.
that depends on the program because a
That's
few
true.
might consider this because they think that this is just a potential threat. Maybe they will fix it, but they don't. They it's not severe enough to for the bug
That's true.
bounty
That's true.
program.
Sometimes they feel that UUID is the protection for IDOR, but those are two different issues altogether.
Sorry, you were saying something?
Oh yeah. So there's one more way that I have seen people figuring out UUIDs is sometimes, let's say if an account has users and their images. So sometimes when you click on the open image link, the image is
Yeah,
usually
profile pictures.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's also a way you can find UUID. Sometimes it happens. It's not always the case.
yeah.
It happens. Yeah, please continue. Yep.
Yeah, you can try these ways, but you can report the UID stuff. But that depends on the program. So when I reported, they were like asking, "How did you get the victim's UID?" It's like I just created two accounts that were obviously mine.
That's true. That's
It's
true.
like you need to show a proper way. So else, it's completely based on luck, I will say. So you can try these ways, and also you can try to enumerate with Google Doc. So I found a similar bug on iCloud where I was able to enumerate the UUID, something like that, with the docking thing. So you can try this. So you can do wayback URL, or you can do GAU, or use Google Doc, or Bing Doc, or even you can use GitHub because most of the UUID will be exposed publicly in the wayback URL or something like that. So you can use those ways to enumerate the thing because you just need to prove the impact. So it doesn't matter it's whether 100 users or 100,000 users or something like that. Even if you are able to do some unauthenticated actions or unauthorized actions for the UUID which is publicly shared, that will be still severe enough. And also just keep fuzzing with the API endpoints because there might be some endpoints you can even play with the V1 or V2 or V3 depending on the this one API. Or you can also just keep fuzzing with the API endpoints because there might be a API endpoint where instead of a complicated UUID they will be using a simple 5 or 6 digit numbers, something like that. This can be a blind item, so you can even try something like that. I found a tweet. Okay, 1 minute. I'll just check if I can. Uh, so this person, what he did is he found a UUID endpoint and he replaced the whole endpoint with the zeros and ones, and
Oh,
he got the admin access. So okay, so this can be something like that.
mm,
You can just even replace all the alphanumeric characters with zero and ones. This may not work obviously at the every time, but yeah, depending on the application and depending on your luck, this can work. I have tried this in like around 20 program. Unfortunately, none of them worked for me, but I guess this might work for you. You can just keep trying with that.
definitely.
For API, yeah, for API fuzzing, you can just check out GitHub API fuzzing payloads. You will find some word list that you can do with that. And yeah, And for now, even now, like we have an IDOR on Google Calendar. It's not a vulnerability, but I'll say it's kind of a maybe I don't know how to put it, but it can be a user mistake. I'll put something like that. So
Yeah.
we have when it comes to organizations like they who are using Google Shoot, G Shoot, they used to like schedule meetings and stuff in their calendars. Even now, like Azim Bhai, he sent me a calendar link and I put it in the calendar. So when a particular organization or something like that use a public calendar of the official email ID that can have their Google Meeting, Zoom or Gmeets usernames like meeting links, passwords, or some projects or documents which can be very sensitive. So this is possible in the Google Calendar. So just go to this endpoint calendar.com Google/embed source and this particular endpoint where you can try with the email ID and the target company. Let's say probably like John at Uber.com. Maybe if the particular calendar is set public by mistake, if the admin is not aware of that, probably we'll be able to access John's official meetings and stuff, which is related to Uber. Because like the company don't care when it is his personal account, but when it is the professional public company account, the impact is usually it's pretty higher. So you can use this to scrap. You can first try to enumerate all the target company emails and then you can just keep brute forcing that or just write a small script which can do it for you. You can try this way because like previously employees from Uber, Shopify, Netflix were vulnerable for similar stuff. So you can try this and this how similarly I was able to get access to employees details. uh, so that kind of went and now yeah, let's play with Idor. I can show you a few labs. Obviously, we'll try to keep it with labs because I don't have permission for any company. Actually, I asked for a disclosure, but they didn't approve.
Uh-huh.
So let's take with.
Yep. Let's be an ethical one.
ये बड़ी अच्छी बात कही आप.
Sure, yeah, yeah. Obviously, labs are not really interesting, but I cannot show you the POC which I don't have permission. Till now, Apple didn't approve that write-up. So that went more like a year. This one is unsafe bank. You can just check this and you can just post it. So it is a vulnerable banking application.
Mhm.
They do got Android, iOS, and web, and they have these OWASP fun like all the CV and not CV. I don't think CV. They got all the CW, SANS 25 and stuff. And they do got these existing bank accounts where you can test. So let's keep this. You can just check that. Now I'll just try to. I have that in my local host. Now let's try to access it.
Oh, I'm just able to see your burp screen.
Yeah, I didn't still know it.
Okay, okay.
So we have this particular this one. We have a bank account here. So let's quickly sign up. Yeah. Again for testing IDOR. Uh, let's go with this one instead of unsafe bank. Let's start with try hack me first because the personal favorite is try hack me. So you can just use this TryHackMe lab. So I guess if you're not using TryHackMe lab, you can just go for that because this is completely amazing. Yeah, obviously we know it's insecure direct object reference, and they got an example here. Uh, okay, so our user ID goes like 1305, and we are supposed to access someone's details with this 1000. So this is the okay. Okay, we have some this order confirmation. Yeah. Okay. Now we need to access 1,000. So yeah, this won't be really as easy as that when it's shown in try hack me. But if you just keep fuzzing with API endpoints, for definitely you will get something. Okay. So we do have the encoded parameters and encoded objects. So instead of just looking for numbers, also look for any encoded numbers, encoded IDs. So this case, it's base 64.
Okay. I see.
Okay. So we have another one. Okay, what is a common algorithm? So we can use this crack station. So let's say if you have an hash something like this, obviously it's we cannot crack this. But if it is an existing known hash, maybe you can just crack it. So the hash is found. It is 123. You can similarly try this. So it's 25. So for obviously testing IDOR, you can create two accounts. But when there are several privileged level like admin, editor, guest, or super admin, something like that, you can create multiple accounts, or you can also use containers. I don't use containers. I create accounts manually. So you need to create minimum two accounts.
I've been using this
So
Firefox containers, but again, then I need to have
okay,
different browsers to capture traffic from all different sources.
yes, yes,
It
yes.
gets messed up.
I prefer that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's known. These are the endpoints where you can test IDOR. So let's start mission. Okay, I need to wait 60 seconds. So what we need to do here, okay, we need to access the details of user ID 1 and user ID 3. They're asking for username of ID 1 and email ID of user 3. So this is the particular thing. Okay, the image is not rendering. Okay, fine. Okay. Let's go for contact. Okay, we have nothing. It's have customer ID. Okay. So what we need to do, let's create an account here. Yeah. Okay. So we have created an account, and what should we do? You have to go to your account, and now you can use Burp Suite, or you can also use network tab instead of Burp Suite. Even that will capture the request. So we have a customer ID 15. We are supposed to access the ID of 1 and 3. Let's access 1. Okay, the username of user ID 1 is Adam84. Yeah. And they're asking for email address of user ID 3. Okay, let's access 3. It's J at fake mail. Okay. Not submitted. Okay. So yeah, so this is how IDOR works. I hope you got an idea. So now let's play with unsafe bank. Okay, I hope this one is visible. Okay, great. You can use a notepad or Notion, and you can just note it down. So the account will be victim, and the last name will be account mail 91755. Create the account. Mobile number already exists. Okay. Okay, this one is the customer ID. Just make a note of this. is the victim customer ID. Goes like victim@test.com, and you can log in. Yes, you can log in. Okay. So you get a virtual money. Unfortunately, you won't use this in real life.
If only that were real.
Yeah. So you can quickly create another account. Suppose like attacker account. Okay, so this one will make a note it down. Now we can log in.
I think there's a space in customer ID.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you. So we have these two accounts. The private window is running on attacker's account, and this one is the victim's account. So the first thing is when it comes to IDOR, you can go for the places where you will be able to make some changes and authentication related stuff. So I'll suggest you to stay with personal information, because that goes like PAI leakage, which is usually P1 critical. So if you load the page, and yeah, you can also use auto raise extender in Burpsuit, but I prefer this manual way. You can also use that. So we have a user ID. This one is the victim ID. Okay, so this is a victim ID. So you can use the attacker ID in this place, or yeah. So I have changed the user ID in this particular parameter. So we'll be able to access the attacker's details. I have interchanged it, but yeah, that's fine. So this one is a victim account. So if I just so again, you will be able to see there is a user request that is sent to victim's account. If I forward it, the details will revert back. So this one is a victim account. So this case is a one such case where you will be able to change, or you'll be able to access the details. So
Thanks a lot, Ranganathan, for coming on the show and
thank you so much.
these things. And it's really wonderful to know
Thank you
how
for your inviting.
early on you started and the career path that you're already going. It's very inspiring to all of people that are new to this.
Thank you
Anything
so much for
you
the
want to
input.
say to the audience? Anything before we wrap this up?
Yeah, so just keep working on. Probably one day you'll get the reward for what you did. Yeah, actually, maybe like I had planned everything, like to work on that, will just get those clients, like make much money. I planned pretty much stuff, but IRCTC one was completely unplanned. That was never in my list, or I never ever imagined that, like being in the stage, they'll be giving so much interviews or getting featured everywhere, making some contacts with ministers or government officers. Like that was completely unplanned. So yeah, just keep working on stuff which you're working on. Just trust the universe. The universe will give you what you deserve.
That's true. That's
Might be a philosophical end. Yeah, might sound cringe or cliche, but I think this is a fact.
I mean, you can't even plan everything. Some things you just leave to let
Yeah,
it would happen.
yeah, just trust the process. And yeah, one more thing. If you're someone like who's a beginner in bug bounty, like me, don't expect for bounties, or like don't yeah, obviously you can expect bounties, that's bug bounty, but don't just love the outcome of getting a bounty. You should just love the process, I will say, because if you don't if you just do it for money, at one point you don't have the true passion for what you're doing, so that may go wrong. So just do it for your own self,
That's so
not for money for anything else.
you will get burnt out after a while if you're just doing it for the money itself.
Yeah,
That's so true. That's so true. It was really nice talking to you, Ranganathan. I hope to
thank
see
you so much.
you on
Same
and
here.
research coming up.